Hello, I'm Love Coach Mariya, and I'm recording this little video as an introduction to me and my coaching practice. I started coaching in 2015. I started studying personal development when I was about 10, and it had just been an interest of mine that turned into a passion. And I was also pursuing another passion involving travel, and I loved staying in hostels. I thought I was going to start my own hostel, and I was running into some roadblocks, and I had hired a friend of mine who was a life coach, and that's when I realized that that's what I wanted to do. And the path of sort of how I could serve as a coach evolved over a few years, and eventually I narrowed it down to relationships, mainly our relationship with ourselves, because I don't know, that was the one that just resonated with me the most. And I came to find that romantic relationship was, at least for me, one of my greatest teachers, because it serves as a mirror of our relationship with ourselves. And as my exploration evolved of sort of personal development through relationship, I sort of landed on this sort of niche of what I came to call empowered compassion. I saw a post on Facebook, and it was sort of a common theme of, it was directed towards women, and encouraging them to love themselves, and that, when they're with someone who's not really reciprocating, or leaving them guessing, or all those fun insecure relationship things, and then there's also this other common theme that then states, find someone else who deserves your love. And I chimed in, and I commented on that post, and I said that I really love most of the stuff that this page puts out. I agree with a lot of it, but it really disheartens me when people talk about others not being deserving of love, and I don't think that they mean to say that they're not deserving of love at all, but they always use that word deserve. They don't deserve your love, or find someone who does deserve your love. And the problem with this line of thinking, it's not about whether it's true or not, but when you think in those terms, you're reinforcing this notion that you might not be deserving of love under some circumstances. And women, who, myself included, when we get into these types of relationships where we question our worth, it's because we're already questioning our worth. And so continuing with this line of thinking that, oh, that person doesn't deserve your love, you continue the belief that you might not be deserving of love, or of someone's love, or any love, or who knows what. But if we shift instead to this notion that everyone deserves love, and the reality that not everyone is ready to receive it, and the truth that loving ourselves means choosing to give our love to people who are ready to receive it. It sounds very similar, but it's a subtle shift that's very impactful. And another consequence of that shift is, when you leave a relationship that isn't aligned, it's not because you're judging the other person as undeserving. It's simply a recognition that it's not in alignment. And the problem with judgment is that it's a mental operating system. When we are judging others, at some point we're also going to be judging ourselves, and at some point we're going to end up in a puddle of shame, and it's debilitating and pointless. And so, when I have friends come to me and tell me about their boyfriend who is not showing up the way that that she needs him to, and then starts criticizing his behavior, I'll usually stop her, whoever she might be, and say, yes, fine, it was not cool of him to do, but he's done it several times, and the thing is, you keep choosing to be in this relationship. So let's just admit that, like, you're both flawed, and at the end of the day, what is true is that you're not aligned. This relationship is in misalignment. What's aligned for him is not what's aligned for you. Just part ways with compassion. You don't have to infect yourself with bitterness. It's it's a toxin to our system. And when it's a lot easier to end a relationship, relationships are messy and we get tangled up in them. And to end a relationship feeling righteous and bitter towards them and blaming them, like, it's a lot easier to do that difficult thing with anger on your side. But if you can find compassion for both of you, you will give yourself a foundation of peace that you can take into your future relationships, and it will ground you in a way that is going to increase the chances of you choosing a more grounded connection the next time around, instead of perpetuating the frankly addictive high of that drama that is involved in the judgment and the righteousness and the bitterness and the blame. So when I saw that post, and I commented that I agree with most of it, but how about we don't judge people as deserving or not, and just respect that they're wherever they're at on their path, and that it's not aligned with our path, and we can still part ways, but we can do it without bitterness. Something to that effect was what I had said, and I didn't realize it, but that post was sponsored, so it was getting a lot of circulation, and I ended up with something like 300, 400, 500 likes, lots and lots of comments. And so I started a Facebook group to create some community, because it was a message that I hadn't seen and elsewhere. And often when that happens, we think maybe we're the only ones, but I received so much resonance that I realized that there was a need for support around it. And so I created a Facebook group. It's free. It's called Empowered Compassion. It is for women only. Just feels safer for most of us that way. And it's supportive. It's non-judgmental, obviously, and we just encourage each other to do the best we can to love ourselves, and to not abandon ourselves. And if we are in a frustrating, challenging relationship and everybody's telling us that we should leave, but it feels wrong, it feels like we're abandoning the other person, then it's just an opportunity, to work through some stuff. Relationship can be an amazing, training ground and practice space for learning how to love ourselves. And sometimes when we do the work, it shifts things. Well, actually, when we do the work, it always shifts things. And sometimes it opens things up for the other partner to feel more safe, and connection can deepen. And sometimes it shifts things in a way that kind of ushers a dissolution of the relationship in a way where you get to do it with grace and integrity. So yeah, that's kind of how I became Love Coach Mariya. And from there, I also started a virtual ashram, or a facilitated practitioner space. Or another way to think of it is like an online spiritual fitness center. And it's another Facebook group, but it's private. There is a monthly subscription for it, and it's a place for women to be supported on their journeys of coming into alignment with love and with, you know, their own values and goals, and being able to create a more authentically aligned life and more balanced, interdependent, conscious relationships. You can learn more about it on my website. I won't go into the details of what's involved in that, but it's a really cool space as well. It's very unique. There's not, you know, kind of like an ashram, there's not conversation in there, but people do post, and, you know, they get to be seen and appreciated. And it's a place to process things and to practice awareness and self-love and acceptance. So yeah, and then of course I offer one-on-one coaching as well. I found my comfort, cushy space to be 90-minute sessions. I always felt too rushed in the hour ones, so I do those as well. And you can do weekly, every other week, monthly, whatever works for you. And the first call is on me. It's an opportunity for both of us to kind of explore working together and see if it's something we both want to do. And yeah, so that's the services I offer. This is me. There's a lot of more information on my website, lovecoachmariya.com. I also have a radio show that's launching in a couple weeks. I'm very excited about it. It will also be available wherever you get podcasts. It'll be aired live online, and it'll be uploaded to YouTube, and there will be audio versions available as well, I believe. So that's pretty exciting. I feel called, you know, to share what comes through me. I don't see it anywhere else. You know, it doesn't seem like anyone else is saying quite what I have to say. And so if not me, who? And if not now, when? Reach out if you want to connect. Stay tuned for more content, and I hope that you're well wherever you're at on your journey. Namaste.